this and keep it as a recorded event. So this is coaching cards and crystals. And what I do is I teach about a little bit of coaching, a little bit of crystals, a little bit about cards all together so that you can really enhance your life and what you want. And why do I do this? What, how does it help you with any of your problems? Sometimes we get so fixated on our problems that we lose sight of other tools that the universe gives us. And my coaching, I inherently coach both left brain, which is the logical side. We all live in a logical world. But I also coach the right brain hemisphere. It's creative, meditative, and I use oracle cards and tarot cards. I do readings and I include crystals because we can always use the symbols to enhance what we're not seeing, our subconscious. And so today, I really wanted to go through the shapes of crystals and what are their correspondences? What are their symbolic meanings? And why is it important to you? Because when you start using crystals, or even if you use crystals, you're pretty proficient with using crystals, you want to approach them with an intention, right? When we charge them, we set an intention with the crystal. We're infusing our energy into a crystal to kind of leverage that energy. But what shape do you want to use? They all have specific meanings. So I don't have all of the shapes, but I'll go through as many shapes and their meanings as possible in this. And at the end, you can ask questions or you can post questions on YouTube. I think I'm going to turn one off so that hopefully they can hear me. I'm learning how to do both this and YouTube too, so bear with me. But I want to make sure that you can understand what they are, all of the correspondences with them, and then maybe how to use them. So that when you go out there and you're using crystals, you can actually be very selective to the intent that you want. And frankly, this applies to business, this applies to your personal life, whatever your goals are. So first, let me start with arrowheads. And, a typical arrowhead would, I don't have a picture of it to show you, but they help remind you of the direction that you want to go in. So if you're confused, if it's a this or that, you can always kind of sit down and concentrate with an arrowhead, that typical Indian arrowhead, it's, and use that. And you want to, focus on where do you go next? Do you know what to do or where to go next? And focus your intention onto that arrowhead on what you enjoy doing. It's not what you don't do. It's not what you're missing. It's you want to focus on what you enjoy doing in your life. So that kind of shape is really all about direction. And it really is about focus and clarity and intention. So when you're confused with a this or that, it's a good type of shape of a crystal to use. Now, geodes are where the earth crust has formed and you open them up literally, like if you're opening up an egg. I don't know if I have one here, but I'll give you an example of an test. Okay, this is a great example, might be the moldavite. Okay, moldavite is a powerful little crystal. It's green on the inside, really in cup, just like a cup. You can feel two sides of it, right? And you open it up and it's got these beautiful crystals. So this is the outer side of this earth shell. All right, this is literally earth stone right here. All right, this is what the amethyst is. But on the inside is the amethyst crystal.
Yeah, I have one.
Right? Isn't it? It's beautiful, right? Exactly. That's a geode.
So beautiful.
Geode is, right?
Yeah,
So
I have that.
use a geode.
It was together.
Right, they do.
I love it.
Right, they do go together, and so it's called an earth-like stone. So you want to tap into earth energy and use that as taking the universal energy, but from earth. infusing you with greater energy of what you're looking for. So there's another one I also octahedron. It's 8 equilateral triangular facets. And now this isn't it, but if you have 8 sides to this is a triangle, all right, this is a pyramid, and we'll get to that in a minute. But just consider if you had 2 of these put together, all right, I don't have 2 with me. But if you had 2 of these, this would be an octahedron, right? Because it would have 8 sides. So just consider this on this side, and then this on this side, right? Just goes on this side. So it might be rough, it might be, it might be smooth, like my copper pyramid is, but it's got the 8 faces. And really what that is to be strong enough to exceed in your leadership roles. 8 is a powerful financial number. It's a powerful money number to vibrate with success and vibrations for good judgment. Because it may have, it's 12 edges. If it has 12 edges, it represents super consciousness, it's inner strength and tolerance. And so if it's got just 6 points, it's more about justice and comfort, beauty and love. So, but the octahedron has a vibration of approaching like a community responsibility, whether it's 6, 8, or 12 sides. Of course, if it's octahedron, it's got 8 sides. If it's when you work with your intention, if it's got a 6-sided shape, it's really about justice and balance, right? It's kind of like the temperance card in the tarot deck. If you've got 12 edges, it's kind of like the super consciousness tapping into your higher, your third eye, or maybe the high priestess in the tarot deck, or the really your super ego tapping into maybe what you don't always see. And the 8 faces, of course, I go back to, it's a financial abundance number. It's for success, it's for leadership, imbuing, giving you the confidence to step out there. Clusters, I do have that one. This is my quartz cluster. And quartz cluster, it's just a cluster of all those crystals put together, right? So the clusters represent a happy family life, a happy, community connections, learning how to share common ground with others, their unique views. You might want to carry that if you're in a political arena, having patience with that. You might want to carry that if you're in an environment where you know that other people are going to have differing views than you, but give yourself the opportunity to reset your energy, to understand that there is an interconnectedness, whether we like it or not. There is an interconnectedness with us all. So it's, it's really when you sit with this, I mean, this is a quartz, so this is this is an amplifier crystal, but when you sit with a cluster crystal, whether it's this or any other crystal, it's really about setting solutions that have wide-ranging effects. So just like there's multiple points on this cluster, it's going in all directions. The opportunity to set your intentions for wider, bigger effects, wider ranging effects. Okay. So I wanted to go through the cube. Let's see, where's my cube? Used it for something. So anyway, a cube, you guys know what a cube is. It's just 4-sided. It's really, the cube is, I can't believe I moved it. I thought I had everything. So it's kind of like this, but it's square, 4-sided squares. Okay, this is a tube. A tube, okay, is really about grounding. It's about foundation, the earth element. It's about stability, truth. It's abundance too, because it's a 4-sided, cube, but it's a really 8, so, but it's really all about represents the realm of the ascended masters. And so if you want to get into a higher level of energy and access the ascended masters, use a cube crystal. A cube is really about completion of your life or completion of a life cycle, amplifying your strengths, your intentions, and you can affirm those things, affirm that those things turn out for the very best. It's kind of like when I've been taught by Colette Baron Reed and Denise Lynn and all these other people, amazing, amazing women. But Colette would always use for this or something better. So you want to put that out to the universe when you're using the cube. It's a grounding stone. I had I don't believe I don't have it here to show you, but you guys know what a cube looks like. So when you pick up, just understand that it's a stone for grounding you, but it's also a stone for recognizing that you might be completing a life cycle of something or a project of something, but it's time to move on. And it's a stone shape that can connect you to the ascended masters and pull in whatever type of stone that you might use. You might use a pyrite stone and you want to work on abundance. That's not only grounds you, but it works you toward a specific intention and a goal. So it depends on the kind of crystal you choose. But when you think about a square crystal, you could always think about it grounding you. Okay, so luckily, now I'm going to go to a sphere. Okay, I finally have one. This is one of my crystal balls. All right, it's not something I use for meditation. I'll use it in my lab when I want to meditate, but I don't do readings from it. It's not a clear crystal or an amethyst crystal. I use it for my own personal spiritual needs, but every point is the same distance from the center. So this is just a big round crystal ball, okay, or sphere. This is really connecting to the cosmos, to the universe. It's open, endless possibilities. Why? Because it's almost
no end.
There's no sharp edges. So you can work with this when you are doing readings for intuitive information. It's just a beautiful, you're working on good omens. You're working on the opportunity to make sure that you're open to endless possibilities. And since I'm an infinite possibilities trainer, I obviously believe in that. So,
and what stone is that?
This is a troilite stone, a troilite sphere. And troilite is really working for your highest energy, your highest being. So now if to go use my pyramid stone, this is a pyramid. Okay, you guys, I'm sure know what a pyramid looks like. But this is all about, and this is perfect for right now because we're going to have summer solstice tomorrow. But this is about the sun. It's a fire element, and this is copper, so it's especially fire. Change, beginnings and endings. So it's all copper. It's choosing a path or a direction. And so it's about power. It's about energy. You can use an open-ended pyramid over your crystals to recharge them. You can look at amplifying your focus and preservation of knowledge, of wisdom, love, protection. So the pyramid is an incredibly powerful shape to work when you're thinking about choosing a path or direction. You can use this instead of the arrowhead, but either one work well. This is a very powerful shape because it goes back millennia. That's why they built the pyramids in Egypt, to house the tombs of the great pharaohs. But this is pretty cool shape. So the other thing I wanted to share with you was a point. Now there are single terminated points and double terminated points. And so this one is a double terminated point. This is a citrine. This is all about focus and target. and movement in a single direction. So if it were single, it would be movement in the single direction. Happens to be a double terminated crystal. So you want to think about, what are you charging? You want to have one point toward you, or one point toward crystals that you really want to amplify. And you want to set your intentions to, okay, how do I want them to, how do I want to enhance other crystals' intention? So that's an opportunity to use it that way. The other thing is using shapes. Okay, so this is a heart crystal. It's a pyrite. They make crystals in hearts, and they're just amazing. So it's an opportunity to use. Obviously, when you're working with a heart crystal, you're always working out of your intention from your heart. So if you're putting on a new project, or developing something, or changing something in your life, or approaching someone in your life, whether it's for, a life situation or business, are you working from your heart center to make sure that you're expanding from the right intention? If we didn't learn anything from COVID, we learned that we had to be alone, and we learned how to then reconnect. And we now do it through Zoom, right? Or through YouTube, live YouTubes and live Facebooks and live all the other yada, 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 social media aspects. But when you connect, you want to make sure you're connecting from the heart. So you might want to hold that crystal first and just see how it feels, to make sure that you're working from your heart center, not just from our brain, right? Because if we're always logical, we lose our heart of what we're doing. We lose the why. And why am I doing this? Because I love the topic too. I'm in this as much as you guys are. But I also want to share what I know. And that's my heart with it, right? So it's really pretty cool. So the other thing is, you can use gosh, I have so many things. Let me show you a stone with a phantom in it. Now, I'm hoping you can see this. You can see them already. This labradorite.
Labradorite, my favorite.
It is one of my favorites. All right, so
So pretty. Yeah.
I wish my lighting is a little bit better. But
that iridescent.
it's interesting. She's showing up not quite as almost hidden. She wants to hide herself a little bit from you, but
you can see
that she's there. All right. So when you have a phantom stone, all right, it's really one. I have a labradorite. I use it for what labradorite is used for. But when you have a phantom, it's shadow aspects involved. It's hidden secrets, lies, unknown truths, growth, and transformation. I specifically put it on my desk because I want to continue to grow and transform and offer the best I can, right? There's more gurus out there that have phenomenal knowledge, and I learn from them too, but I have a certain level of knowledge that I want to impart. And so everybody's at different levels of learning. And so I wanted to use the labradorite for creativity, for the higher consciousness, for and really recognizing what are my shadow parts, because we're always learning, we're always on a learning path. So opportunity to access a crystal with a phantom in it, to help you expose what you might not see and help you transform and grow. So the obelisk and tower is also, it's literally, I didn't do this, but so clearly I thought I was all prepared with all my shapes, and I wasn't, but all right, so this is a little bit like, just got a point at the end. Again, this is a quartz, but if this had a flat base, all right, this would be an obelisk, right? You could just think about the obelisks in Egypt. So the obelisk really represents strength, masculine energy, protection, warning of danger. So you want to think about, are you encountering are you in a situation where it could be uncomfortable, not necessarily dangerous, but even uncomfortable? Where do you want to gather your strength? And you want to use that kind of crystal and you might think about a smoky quartz crystal to really take away the danger to you. You want to block that negative energy, but you also want to protect your energy so that it stays pure and gentle and whole. And so you've got this shield around you. So you might want to just meditate with a smoky quartz obelisk or tower to give you greater energy, so that your vibration is not only grounded, but it's also protected. It's got a couple of little options. Now, if you think about an egg, all right, and I did have one. This is an egg. Now you can use this crystal for birth, rebirth. Just think about all the things, Easter eggs and things like that. It's all about life, rebirth of your new beginnings, new opportunities, conception, youthfulness, miracles and magic that Jesus transitions, right? Just think about Jesus and the transition of his death to Christians believing life after death. The transition, the egg represents rebirth, right? So it's a transition. It's also very beneficial for businesses because it gives you the opportunity for recognizing you're starting out with something and then moving into greater things. You're creating wealth and abundance, but it's a transition. You go from being broke and setting up your business to one of wealth and abundance. So I've gone through the cube, the egg, the obelisk or tower, whatever you want to call it, a phantom crystal, the single and double terminated crystal points. And, and maybe I just want to be clear on a double terminated crystal. This is getting you unstuck. It's about movement. You've got a path in the road to choices and transformation. So it's an opportunity to, maybe pull a card and recognize that this is, I'm at a point where I'm a little bit stuck in making a decision. And if you concentrated on, well, what would I expect the outcome to be if I chose this path, and have that arrow pointed to that and see what happens. See if you can feel how strong that connection is. And then you could try it the other way with another choice. So it's just an opportunity to use the crystal in different ways. And like I said, crystals can come in all shapes. All right. So this is a fluorite crystal with amethyst and a little bit of amethyst in it. It's a witch's hat. And so it really, crystals can be shaped in all shapes. A white crystal stone.
Oh,
This is really about wisdom and accessing ancient wisdom. This is a little shaped crystal of Lakshmi.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that cool? Right?
Really?
So this is really about you can choose all kinds of shapes based on the intention that you want to pursue, and then sit with the crystal and hold it just for a few minutes to see what that message has to say for you. And so because and I also want to talk about one other type of crystal. This is kyanite. Now, kyanite is generally in slivers. All right. I don't have the correspondence to a sliver.
It's pretty.
But what I would do is just, first of all, they're very breakable. So if the kyanite calms you down. It kind of cleans the air, kind of calms your energy. So take this opportunity to just hold the crystal. It's a little bit, not fluorescent, but you can not quite see through it, but it's really, it has a little bit of fluorescence to it, but it's really a very gentle stone, but it's a calming stone as well. And with that, of course, The coaching recommendations when using crystals is, whether it's for business or for your personal life, is really understand what's your intention. What do you want to do with it? It's, you're living your life less out of habit and more out of intention. So first get clear on what your intentions are. And if you're not clear, then take a stone, take a dark grounding stone like this, and sit with it a few minutes and say, let me just get grounded. Let me just get rid of all. And right now, if you're listening, you can just take any stone in your hand and just sit with it for a minute and understand, like, here's a Kambaba jasper, right? I don't know why I had it on my desk because I didn't really need it for this, but it's the green stone with black, and it's very grounding. It's also calming, and it helps people release trauma, things like that. So you want to think, all right, just take a breath and breathe it in and think about, what do I want to release? What do I want to know? What's your question, right? Understand where you're going in life with your crystals. What's your relationship to them? What do you want to achieve with them, right? What's your goal? So when you can think about, that first, then you've got everything. Let me see. I hope it worked on Zoom. So, okay, good. I was just checking YouTube to see if there's anything here, but this is really an opportunity to make sure that when you sit down with your crystal, that you're sitting down like you have an intention, you have a desire. And when you're clear on that, you can set your goal and charge your crystal. If you're not clear, then you're going to be asking the questions, what do I need to know? What am I missing? Show me, help me, let me hear the message that you have for me. And just breathe. Just take 5 minutes. Don't take longer. Just take 5 minutes. And if it doesn't work in the first 5 minutes, put it away and come back again and try for 5 minutes. But first start using your brain. Where you're going, right? When you get into the car and set your GPS for a destination that you don't exactly know where you're going, your GPS works for you, but you have an intention, right? You're going to plug in the address, right? So this is what you want to do with your crystals as well. Plug in the address. Where are you going? And then your crystal can help leverage your energy. And as we move further into this, I'll show you some crystal grids that will amplify everything. In the meantime, I'm going to draw from the Crystal Spirit deck, Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. See what we need to know as we move forward in these YouTube and calls for the meetup. And hopefully I've helped you understand what shape of crystal you might want to use for your intention. So, Kim, since you were able to do this, and I was remiss in getting the right Zoom link for this today, but I'll learn in the future.
It's all good.
Where would you like for me to pull the card?
Let's see, maybe from closer to the bottom.
All right. Oh my gosh. Watermelon tourmaline. And isn't that perfect?
Ooh,
And
so
you know
pretty.
what? This is the obelisk. This is the tower, right? This is exactly one of the crystal shapes that I didn't have in front of me, right? So the watermelon tourmaline.
Wow.
I know it's great, isn't it? So
Beautiful.
it is beautiful. So it's really about seeing perfection in the moment, basking in the bliss of just being. It's kind of like eating watermelon and tourmaline. I like that candy. It's so good.
So good.
And just
Refreshing.
natural. Yes, exactly. Refreshing and natural joy. And so I love the pink and green together.
Cool.
To reflect on your own natural joy. Where are you
That's amazing.
it to show up and just overshadow problems, right? Just where can you not still be realistic, but where can you find joy in little things? Because we can go through life and have all these issues, and we can be in a state of continual depression, aggravation, or sadness, all those feelings. You can focus on negative. But when you lose the recognition that every moment is precious and offers you the same amount of joy, you just have to choose it, right? You can either choose, oh, I'm living in woe and worry. Yeah, you might be. But how do you want to go? How do you want to live through that woe and worry? Like if you're in business or in your personal life. So when you can choose the joy that is naturally inherent as a skill, as an emotion inside you, at the end of your life, you will have lived a full and joyful life, no matter what the bumps are in the road, because you're choosing to say, oh, I can live in fear. Okay, I've got that choice, but I can also live in joy. And that's the message for today. Just Just take the moment of joy and happiness along with you in your backpack with everything else, because you have that.
I love it.
That, I think, is the messages for today with all the shapes and everything. Kim, since you're here, do you have any questions?
No, I'm just very inspired now because I'm going to go to Crystal store. I'm going to look for a bunch of this because I'm really, I'm at a crossroads personally. So all I got is questions. So this is awesome. I love it.
I think for people who joined the meetup, I put in a bonus for you
I downloaded that
with crystals. So how to use them. Cool. So by all means do that. And for you, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you very much. And I'll be back next Tuesday at 11 a.m. for another. Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Love it.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.